Welcome back. Today we're heading to San Jose for an encounter where the Bigfoot was watching all along. Let's dive in. I've lived in the Bay Area all my life, born and raised in San Jose, just a short drive from Santa Cruz Mountains. I've hiked those trails since I was a kid, and I've always thought of them as my escape from the chaos of Silicon Valley. But one morning in late summer of 2019, those woods gave me a memory I'll never forget. My girlfriend and I decided to hike the Loma Prieta Grade Trail in the forest of Nensing's Marks State Park. It's beautiful there, redwoods stretching endlessly, sunlight filtering down in golden streams, and the distant sound of water moving through the gullies. It's a popular trail too, so even on a weekday, you'll pass a few people now and then. We'd been hiking for about an hour when she mentioned she needed to use the bathroom. There weren't any restrooms nearby, so we started looking for a spot off the trail. A few minutes later, we found a narrow opening in the trees to our right. Not a path exactly, just a gap wide enough to step through. We went maybe 20 or 30 feet in, just far enough to be out of sight from anyone passing by. I handed her my backpack, which had some toilet paper in it, and she ducked behind a tree. I stayed about halfway down the clearing so I could keep an eye out. It was darker under the canopy, but I could still see her silhouette between the trunks. And that's when I noticed movement to my left. At first, it was nothing, just a shift in the shadows, but then I saw it clearly, a hand gripping a tree. It was large, much larger than mine, and completely dark. My first thought was that someone was there, maybe a biker or someone else. I even felt a flash of irritation. But then the hand moved, slowly, and a face peeked out from behind the tree. My stomach dropped. It wasn't human. From where I stood, maybe 10 feet away, I could see half of its face. The eyes were enormous, dark, and set deep beneath a heavy brow. Its skin looked leathery, almost grayish, and the hair covering its head and shoulders was thick and coarse, somewhere between black and charcoal gray. I caught just the outline of a conical skull, but what really froze me were those eyes. They weren't wild like an animal's, they were focused. They locked on me, unblinking, intense, and full of something I can only describe as awareness, like it was trying to read me. I couldn't move, and I couldn't breathe. The air around me went still. The only sound I could hear was my girlfriend still peeing behind the tree. I remember that detail vividly, like my brain was split between two worlds, one painfully ordinary and one impossibly strange. Peeked out twice in total. The second time it looked at me for a few seconds longer, before dipping back behind the trunk and sinking out of sight, as if crouching or sliding down toward the ground. That was it. It never made a sound. Never moved again. When my girlfriend finished and came back towards me, that's when the fear hit. Not the kind of fear you feel in danger, but the delayed kind, when reality catches up to you. I took her hand and said quietly, "We need to head back." She looked at me confused, but followed. As we made our way down the trail, I told her everything, every detail, every second of it. To my surprise, she believed me immediately. She'd grown up in Canada and said her uncle and cousin had both claimed to see something similar years ago. She even wanted to turn around and look for it. I wasn't ready for that. Not then. For weeks afterward, I had dreams about that moment, standing there in the dim woods, those eyes peering out from behind the tree. They weren't nightmares exactly, but they left me shaken when I woke up. I never told many people. My girlfriend used to laugh and tell the story to our friends over beers, but for me, it wasn't funny. It was real. I know what I saw. And sure, maybe it could have been a massive man in a suit hiding behind a tree on some random Wednesday morning. But the odds of that, out there, at that exact moment? No. I don't think it was a prank or a costume. I think it was something else. Something ancient and alive, moving quietly through the red woods that day. People call it a Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever name you give it, I'm 99% sure that's what I saw. And those eyes, those dark, knowing eyes, still find me sometimes when I close mine. Well, that is the story of the day, and this is the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed, as I did, and I hope you will join us again in our next one. Stay tuned, and I will see you again soon.